let's hop back in here. What we expected is as we got rid of bad ads, that these cost per result numbers would come down. This was, I think, was at 46 last time, and this was at like, I don't know, 24. So these continue to come down. I'm not sure how much farther they'll go. Let's look at this one. 4 ads left. So this yellow lady is clearly doing the worst out of them, and you can see based on the delivery that that Facebook is prioritizing other ones as well. So we're just going to get rid of that. And then these ones, I mean, basically the performance is exactly the same. So if we look at like normal click-through rate, the compiled text line seems to be doing better, but there's also different headlines, so it's tough to tell. And then if you look at the click-through rate, yeah, so it looks like there's something different going on with this one, so we're going to shut this one off. And now we have 2 left that are performing basically similar. The difference right now in the cost per click is just driven by the CPM number here. But overall performance, 7.89, 7.73, these numbers are exactly the same. So at this point, it would just be like, we don't want to have 2 ads that are performing at 9% click-through and splitting the engagement. So we're just going to make an educated guess on what to change, which one to pick. So so you got this one that has 3 comments and has this survey data text, and then comparing it to this one that has 1 comment, 4 shares, and some reactions. So this headline appears to be having something, at least stimulating more engagement for whatever reason. So I'm personally liking this one more. So I would just shut this one off.
Okay.
So there's some subjectivity in that, but that's where we are. So we're at 15 cents a click, and then when you look at cost per click all, it's 12 cents. It's really great. So we're gonna let that one play out. And now we'll just go to the other one. Is that same one in there? So I think this is the one that just won in the last one. Just refresh this data. Right? It was the study finds headline and then this like long thing where the data came from. Oh, it was the compiled data text, right? Yeah. It was this one. Okay, so this one is tied with this yellow lady, but it has more delivery. So let's just compare these two again. 5.5, 6.2, 6.8, 6.9. So these are pretty much about the same. This one's actually performing from a click cost all. So what I would do here is I would get rid of these yellow ladies. And from here, what I would do, which is a little, I don't know if it's unconventional, but it's kind of weird, is that I would actually shut this one off. So I'd shut off the ad set, and I would go into this other one. And we can't have a custom audience that also uses, it's like a and function. So if the activity director looked alike, they would also need to fit this criteria in order for them to be included in the audience. So by adding anything more to this, we actually narrow the audience.
Okay.
So, I mean, we could do a couple things here. In fact, I'm kind of a little bit indifferent. what it's doing here is we have two ads running to two separate audiences that say the exact same thing.
Mhm.
And so what I would normally do is shut one off, let it run to that audience, and then once it's gotten some traction, I would change the audience to the one that's in this group. Um, but it's yeah, I'm kind of indifferent on it.
When you say
So
change
you
oh, sorry.
no, no, please go ahead.
When you said change audience, do you mean that you would add that audience and then narrow it using that, or you would just switch the
So
after the traction?
would I would so at this ad set level, you can choose placements and budgets and audiences. The only thing different between these two is the audience that we're targeting.
Yeah.
And so I would turn this off. I
Mhm.
would run to this audience. And then when I deem that this audience is, when the results start to slow or I deem that it's time to change it, I would go in here and I would change from this audience to this one.
Okay. That's what I thought you
And
were
then the ads and the engagement data within this ad set would be maintained and they would get shown to a different audience.
okay, perfect.
And so this activity connection website visitors thing will get, the ad that has 600 likes and 50 comments instead of the one that has, 4 likes and 3 comments like right
Right.
now.
Okay.
So, um, yeah, those are some options. It's Wednesday, so like it's strange, right? Because like we don't have that much time to run them. So, but
Mhm.
I would probably turn this one off.
Okay.
Okay. So now we just have this dementia interest running one ad, 15 cents a click with a great click through. So we'll let, so now it's optimized and running.
Mhm.
In some cases, we would, I would take this budget down or I would have made this budget higher. But I'm going to let this run at 1,000.
Okay.
Um, and I would turn it off at, you can either set a rule or whatever you want to do, or sometimes I just turn the budget down overnight. So like if I was doing this and I was in your job, I'd probably be responding to comments until like 2 in the morning tonight, which is
Mhm.
11 p.m. Pacific time. And then I
Okay.
would turn the budget down to whatever, $100 so that the ads are still being delivered, but less frequently overnight. And then when I woke up, I would turn it back up.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, that's what I would do. And then we'll see how it goes. But given the timing, that we'll probably shut this off at like, I don't know, Friday at noon or something along those lines, and then turn it back on Sunday at noon. Sunday night's a really good time to run Facebook ads.
Okay.
So, um, and at some point we'll insert this audience in here. We'll insert a different audience. Another thing that we want to do with big campaigns that I haven't talked about. Um, this one's cool. So we'll let that run.
Mhm.
Um, but based on what we have here, 1,368 people should be in that audience, give or take some.
Right.
Um, and then what I would do with this one is exclude people that have already clicked on it or have already visited it.
Okay. Yeah, that's neat.
So that, I mean, once you get this to like 10,000 people, or if you're running free trial ads, the Facebook doesn't exclude people that have already converted. So like someone's seen an ad 20 times and they're like, well, I already signed up for this. I don't know why I keep seeing the ad. So it's half like user experience, half it just saves a little bit of money on delivery.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, after you buy a pair of shoes and they keep hitting you with the same ad anyway, you're like, "I've already bought them."
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to publish this. I think when changing the ad set, it's gonna turn the ad, like have to reset the ads slightly.
Mhm.
We'll see what happens, um, but yeah, that's the last tip. So if we're running like wide campaigns, or we'll eventually use that audience for a different reason, like maybe a retargeting or a follow up thing or something.
Mhm.
But for now, we'll just use it to exclude, and then we have it if we need it.
Okay. Yeah, I've never
So
thought about using it in the reverse. So,
yeah,
interesting.
that's it.